I left Turkey in 2000. I went another country to teach in a Gulen movement schools as a chemistry teacher for 10 years. After that, I went another country. I spent there for 7 years in another Gulen movement school. I worked there again as a teacher. So after the 2016 so-called coup, I had to leave Turkey. I came to Canada. I seek asylum. I became a Canadian citizen, and I came here to join this ceremony. Since my childhood time, I am reading his books. I am following his sermons. He did nothing but to raise a good generation, a golden generation. So in order to pay my loyalty, I just came here to do my last duty. Yeah, it was an important task for me to be here. When I came to Canada, as any refugees, I started working in construction, in Uber driver, but later on, I applied to the schools to teach. They saw that I really teach well because I had an experience in Gulen movement schools. And then I started teaching in private schools in Canada as well.
Abi şöyle bir kol aç. Şöyle abi şöyle kol aç.
Well, I'm blessed because he is actually my mom's uncle, and my father was someone who has been next to him, serving him for 50 years. So that, through my family, I got to know him. But after, being cognizant and being aware, I chose myself to be his student, following in his teachings. I think because his teachings aren't just they don't come from him, his teachings, he's a reminder of the teachings of our book, the Quran, the teachings of Allah. So they are eternal, and that's why it's going to live eternally, because it is the teachings of our Prophet. There is nothing new. He just adapts it to this time and age, and how we can take those teachings and footsteps and accommodate it to this time period.
So even though we are family, anyone you would ask, he's never really been considered as family. He's always been more of a holy and noble person that you've always looked up to. So he's always been an inspiration for all of us, for millions of people. He really didn't have a worldly life here on this earth. So he's able to live the life now that he's deserved up in the heavens. So it's a big hole in our heart, but we're also very relieved knowing that he finally has the peace that he deserves after so long. It did upset me. As I grew up, the more older I got, the more I listened to the words that he taught, the education that he gave us. I realized that he's always been the bigger person. Any type of hate, any type of blame that people would come and say to him, he would always look past it. He always ended up being the bigger person. So that is such a big lesson I took for him as well. It doesn't really matter what anybody else says. Knowing that it's not true and knowing that we could just always give them the grace in our heart is truly what matters, and it's what he did for years and years, and it's what we will continue to do as well, against all lies.